Right, last week I gave you 5 reasons why you should definitely switch to Davinci Resolve. This week I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should definitely stick with Premiere Pro. Let's get into it. Okay, so number 1 is my biggest gripe with the number 1 peeve that Davinci Resolve just doesn't have this simple thing, and I just don't know why, is guides and rulers. There's loads of times where I just want to line stuff up and keep it consistent throughout a video, and with Premiere Pro you can just reach to the side, grab those rulers, pull them down however many you need, and then jobs are good. And where throughout the video they're there. You can revert back to them. It's fantastic. Resolve to try and do the same thing. Like if you're trying to crop in on a talking head, I do this a lot when I'm making these kind of videos. I just want to make sure the eye line stays the same and the middle of my face is in the same place. With Resolve, I have to get an adjustment clip, I have to put a grid effect on it, then I have to turn that down to just 2 lines, then I have to adjust the line size down, and then you have to move it up and down, and it's just not very good. It's a clunky, awful way to do it, and I just wish this one simple thing, which I use a lot, would be in Resolve, but they just don't have this. I don't know why. Maybe this isn't a big deal for you, but for me, I use the grids and rulers all the time, and I like to have them there. It's kind of a big deal and kind of makes me want to stay and use Premiere Pro. So, number 2, editing vertical video. Much as I don't really like vertical video, in fact I think it kind of sucks, it's the worst thing to happen to video, it's here. And I have lots of clients that do want stuff done in vertical video format or cut downs from their main video into vertical video so they can share it on their social media. And editing vertical video in Resolve is just, it's not as easy, it's not as nice. The workspace isn't set out, so it's maximizing the space as much as possible. Now, Premiere Pro, on the other hand, has the vertical video workspace, and it's fantastic. It uses the whole side of one side of the screen to actually put the video in there, and then you have all of your effect controls and everything up here. It's just a wonderful space to work with. Everything is pretty much in one space, and you don't have to keep changing windows, actually, like when you're editing horizontal stuff, because you can do all the color, you can do the effect controls, you can do all the text stuff, all without leaving that one window, and it maximizes the actual video space that you can see. That's fantastic. Much better than Resolve. Number 3, Media Encoder. Just a lovely piece of software that you have to install when you have Premiere Pro, and it lets you carry on editing while something is rendering out. If you send it to the Media Encoder instead of doing it in the actual software itself, it means that you can carry on editing while the Media Encoder renders stuff out, and this is much more time efficient if you have a lot of work to do. Resolve, however, once you're rendering, you just have to wait until it's finished rendering, and then you can carry on editing. So, point for Adobe. Alright, number 4, dynamic linking and just the way the Adobe suite works together in harmony in general. Like if you do something in Photoshop, you've got a bunch of layers that you want to quickly remove backgrounds and make everything separate layers to then edit in Premiere Pro. You can do that in Photoshop and then just save that as a .psd Photoshop file, open it up in Premiere Pro, and it puts all the layers there. You can do that in After Effects as well. You also have the dynamic linking and the way that all of the software in the Adobe suite can dynamically link to each other, meaning that you can go away, work on like a thing in another software, and then it just appears already in Premiere Pro. After Effects is a classic of this. You can right click on a bunch of clips in Premiere Pro and say edit in Adobe After Effects, and then do your work in Adobe After Effects if there's something that Premiere Pro can't do. Save that file, and then it's just there in Premiere Pro. This is fantastic, and I know that in Resolve you do have all of the tabs across the bottom, and this is technically kind of the same, but you don't even have to leave the software. But you don't have a Photoshop option, you don't have a lot of the other software around it, and stuff like if you're making a quick matte painting, for example, you want some matte painting, you need to just remove some backgrounds or separate some elements, you can just do that in Photoshop and bring it back in, and I think that's kind of cool. Okay, so last but not least, point number 5, and that is the customizable user interface, the UI. This just lets you drag any of the panels around wherever you want them, basically. It doesn't seem like a big thing, but it really can be. Like with the vertical video, you can make the most of the space. Like, I really like Davinci's, but there's one thing which annoys me, and that's when you're color grading, the panel isn't really available to make, you can't really resize it. I would just like that viewer to be much bigger and some of the other controls to be much smaller. And I can't do that. It won't let me change anything. You can switch panels on and off, but that's about it. And I think the customization of the user interface really does make a big difference. Alrighty, so there you go. 5 reasons why I think you could maybe just stick with Premiere Pro where you wouldn't want to switch to Resolve. What have you done? Team Resolve or Team Premiere Pro? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, peace.